Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. Shit. Test, 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 test. Testing one, two, test. Test, 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 test. Shit. Test, 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 test. Testing one, two, test. Test, 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 test. Shit. Test, 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 test. Testing one, two, test. Test, 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 test. Shit. Test, 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 test. Testing one, two, test. The hell? The hell? Test, 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 test. Testing. Test. The hell? What the hell? Testing one, two, three, four. We've never done this before. Testing one, two, three, four. Yes, 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 yes. Testing. Test. The hell? What the hell? Test, 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 testing one, two, three, four. Test, 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 testing one, two, three, four. Testing one, two, three, four. We've never done this before. Testing one, two, three, four. Yes, 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 yes. Test, 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 testing one, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. We've done this before. Testing one, two, three, four. Test, 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 testing one, two, three, four. Testing one, two, three, four. We've never done this before. Testing one, two, three, four. Test, 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 test. Test, 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 testing one, two, three, four.
Feeling overstimulated with the constant noise of being a parent? Get yourself Loop earplugs. The Loop earplugs Engage 2 are designed to
Treb, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear?
Nope. Nope. Yeah, but no picture, Treb.
Well, where's my icon here? I can't find the damn thing.
I don't know. I don't. Are you on your phone or your computer?
Computer.
Shit. Well, worst case scenario, we have
Could
you
it
on.
could it be this little blue one down in the corner?
Everything's different on every computer, Treb.
I know. I tried to figure this thing out. I got Zoom down below here. Zoom meeting. I got this icon in the lower right corner, but I'm looking for a setting or I tried to figure out how to do this damn thing.
Well,
Content mechanism.
worst case scenario, we got you there, but I can't. The reason I can't help is because I don't know what the hell you're on. And BJ,
Or
can't hear you right now. Nope.
I'm working on it.
There we got it. We got it, BJ.
All righty.
Treb is right here. He's fumbling with his camera. Are you better with this than he is, BJ?
Oh, I can click.
No, I mean he
I know how
Treb,
to click
say
things.
hi to BJ, Treb.
yeah, hey BJ.
Hey, Tom. How
All
are
is
you?
all is good except my beautiful video can't get there.
Yeah, we've been through this before, Treb.
I know. I went online to figure out the steps, and supposedly there's supposed to be a little camera down here on my to click on this camera, and I can't find the damn camera.
Are you sure you were a teacher?
I'm a learner, but not a very good one.
BJ, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, well, I think it's John Adams' fault. Tom, he
It is John
sabotaged
Adams'
you.
fault. He's supposed to be on right now, the SOB.
He probably sabotaged Tom.
He probably did, I have no doubt.
Johnny is a trickster. Yeah, I thought I had this figured out. Let's see. I got a microphone down here. Microphone to use Zoom Workspace. I
Well, I
got
don't know
a
which of the
network,
guys is the guru here, but I guess we'll.
speakers, audio. I don't know what this thing is.
Sounds like your honeymoon.
Well, you know, I
Oh,
only
boy.
I only have this thing out of necessity, not because I want one, period.
Go into settings, Tom.
I can't even find my little settings icon. Um, Whoops, did I lose you?
No, just keep playing around. And if you do get cut off, just use the link again, or I'll send it to you.
Okay, I'm back.
Don't you have a grandkid around?
No, not right now.
Just keep looking. Don't worry about it. Just keep looking in settings and make sure your camera's on. There may be something right there asking you for the camera.
Yeah, I'm looking for one of those wheels too. You usually hit those wheels and find all that shit on there.
Yeah, right. The setting will generally
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, just keep playing. We got you here though. But please chime in, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm not looking that good anyway.
You're lucky. Just keep going. You know, keep
I
at it.
got a good hat on too. I got a good answer to Maggie. I got a hat on here that says "Make lying wrong again."
Good luck with that.
Oh, boy.
I've been staying away from that, Treb. I don't know what these guys are thinking with that stuff. So just keep messing with it. I don't know if BJ has any advice. Where the hell are the other guys?
Getting ready for Easter.
That's right. That's right. I don't think Johnny's going to go into his infamous hunt, but I've heard about that a few times. Did the umpire hand you the egg, Sir Huff? BJ?
Oh, I can't disclose.
All right. Well, maybe you can on here. We'll see what.
I had completely forgotten about that.
Have you guys spoken, you and Treb, in a while?
Not in a while.
Probably been 20 years.
That's why I really enjoy this. We've done a few, BJ. We had Garner on a few times, right, Treb? And we've had Sack on, and but we were kind of surprised and happy you were. Here's two more. Who the hell are they?
It's probably that derelict, John Adam.
Do you know what Dale's email is? Dem nuts. Does that
I just saw it.
does that make any sense?
Yes.
Well, you'll have to tell us.
To me, it does.
Ask to unmute. Okay. Fuck. Treb's gonna keep. There he is. Hey, Dale.
What's up, guys?
What's
BJ,
up,
what's up?
Adam nuts.
What's going on?
We are our dem nuts, right?
Fucking
I love
see.
your email, BJ. Where the hell's John Adam?
Oh,
There he is.
Dale,
Hey guys, just so you know from the onset, Treb is there, and Johnny, guess who's having trouble with their camera?
Oh boy.
Well, I tried the damn thing.
Just keep playing with it. You know,
Yeah,
like you did.
right now, it's a really good picture of me. I like it.
Well, we like it.
When he said keep playing with it, he meant the laptop.
I think we got Sack here too.
iPhone.
Up your face, Johnny.
Hey Jim, are you able to get my mug on here or
Hey,
no?
Sack.
What's going on, Jim?
How are you, buddy? Thanks for doing this. What's that, Johnny?
Are you able to see my face?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Okay.
Not.
All right.
Treb's here, Sack. It's deja vu.
Okay, we got him on this
We
time?
got him on. No, we just got his voice again. I think he's naked or something.
Okay.
I've looked for every damn icon there is to get a picture. I'm very, very sorry. I'm disadvantaged. I'm old,
That's all right.
and I hate this. I'm not too excited about any of this stuff. But being with you guys is fine. But the technology and all this stuff, you know.
Okay, Treb, I want to show you something. We're rolling now, so don't pick your nose or anything.
Mhm.
I want to play something for you.
Oh yeah. Gumby.
Long one to right. 12 in a row.
That was the best picture.
Yeah.
I saw you there, Johnny.
And this is what capped it off. Dale Swaim, a 3-2 fastball from Greg Harris, a man aboard, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning.
That was a high pitch.
Tie ball game, and it's no longer tied. 6-4 Milwaukee victory.
Okay, guys, that should bring back a couple. I don't know if I'd like to welcome our viewers. We're doing this the first time we're live streaming on YouTube, and Robert Slack got a bunch of guys from the camp to tune in. You know, your Brewers camps, right, Johnny?
Yes.
Okay,
Fantasy campers.
Johnny and I have talked a bit. Johnny, I'm just going to hand off to you.
No, it brings back a lot of memories. That shot right there, and I didn't realize that pitch looked out of the strike zone, and for Dale to jump on that fastball, hit it out. I mean, that was crazy.
Well, the one thing he knew he was going to throw me was a backdoor cutter. So I knew he was basically going to do that because that's what he did every time he was in trouble. Behind in the count, he'd just dump in a little backdoor cutter. And thank God for me, he got it up in the zone because I was a much better high ball hitter than I was a low ball hitter.
Yeah.
Being left-handed. So
Yeah.
at least for the most part, I was 90% sure, knew what it was going to be and where it was going to be on the plate.
Perfect.
The good thing is you weren't trying to work a walk, Bo.
No. I didn't do that too much in my life. I would have much rather had that done at the first pitch, believe me.
Yeah.
Mhm. Let's talk about, I mean, I think Gantner did a great job right before your dinger about getting on base because he worked a walk, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Let's
he
start
was
out.
At bat.
pretty good. If I'm not mistaken, a really good at bat with some foul balls involved and all that, and then battled and you know got obviously got the walk and fortunately got me to the plate.
Yeah, that was I remember that. That was a really good thing. Another thing that came to mind, guys, go ahead and hop in on this. Of all the Brewer highlights in the history of the Brewers, I think this game is the only one that really doesn't show much of Paulie or Rob. I mean, it's just so weird. I mean, it's just, it's like, obviously they played their ass off, but it was other people in the spotlight that day.
Well, there's probably a good chance they got us there.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you another thing. I had seen something, and this going back maybe 6 months ago. For some reason, this thing came up, algorithms and all. And Bosio came into relief for an inning, maybe 2 of that game. And I mean, he had unhittable stuff. Do you remember that, BJ, at all?
I remember Boz coming out of the bullpen because in AAA, he was our closer. And he was really good at it. And then when he got, I think he started out of the bullpen in 87, but eventually became a starter. But he was great as a reliever because he threw hard and he had a really, really good tight slider.
Yeah. And Sack, you were ready to come in this game if we win another inning, correct?
Yeah, I remember Trev made the phone call, and if the game would have stayed tied, I was coming in. And I remember I was so pissed because Charlie O'Brien was warming me up, and he would always goof around. Like he would pretend I was wild. He'd let a ball intentionally get by him, and he'd be like, "Damn, don't you ever throw strikes?" And so I remember yelling at him, going, "Hey, come on, let's go." And all I remember was I would try to throw a pitch while there was a pitch thrown on the mound, so I didn't throw too much. And all I remember, I threw a pitch, and by the corner there's a little place that you could see by the bullpen. All I saw was Dale's arms go up in the air, and I'm like, holy shit. And the next thing you know, the ball comes flying in that bullpen area. All I remember about that game was after the game, I've never seen a bunch of grown men act like they won the 12-year-old Little League title. Guys were jumping around in the clubhouse. It was, to this day, I mean, I've been around, now with MLB Network, that was the single greatest game I was ever involved in. I didn't play, and every Easter Sunday I wake up and I think of Rob Deere and Dale Swain. Like it will be part of me forever. Like when I hear Dale's name mentioned or I run into Dale, the first thing I think of is, man, those two arms going up in the air. And to this day, I get goosebumps thinking about it. I didn't play in the game, but it was the single greatest game I was ever involved in. Like I never had a chance like to go to the World Series, but that game, you know, when you're expected to be in last place, like we were picked to be the doormat of the East and you're 11-0. And I think if I remember right, John, the game was supposed to be at 1 and they pushed it back to like 1:50 or 2 o'clock because of the walk up.
Yeah.
And
Imagine Bud doing that.
yeah, right. And I mean, I remember we had such a lousy spring, and that was the first really sunny, nice day we had in Milwaukee up to that point. And I don't know, man, it was the greatest game I was ever involved in.
That's great. Great.
Truly iconic. Truly iconic.
You know, BJ, I'm going to ask you something. Before this game, we were in Baltimore, and that's when Nieves threw the no-hitter and all that. But and I tell people about that Nieves no-hitter. I said, you know, BJ didn't catch that game because he was going to get oral surgery the next morning early. So I got to thinking, I'm like, BJ, did you have that oral surgery like a day or two before this Easter Sunday game?
I don't think so. I think I just didn't play because Rock was catching. They probably threw a lefty, or he had because Rock and I were splitting time. Then Billy Schroeder.
Flanagan start that game?
He may have. So I was out in the bully for freezing my tail off for the no hitter.
Oh, okay.
I think I had oral surgery at the All-Star break, Johnny. I think.
Oh, okay. Okay, that was
yeah.
it. Okay.
That was just because Rock was the starter, and like you said, could have been any number of lefties that they had on their mound.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering that. How were you? I can't remember this obviously because it was a million years ago, but up until this game, how was your season? Were you happy with how the season was going as far as you personally hitting, both to Dale and to BJ?
Go ahead, Dale.
Yeah, well, I was fortunately having a really good first 11 games. I think I had an RBI actually in all 11 games. I think I had a couple of home runs, hit one. I think I hit one in that Nieves no hitter. That's why I said I thought it was Flanagan started because I think I hit a home run off Flanagan, and then Nieves game. Don't quote me exactly, but pretty sure. But yeah, so things were going pretty well up to that point, and pretty much up until I think our whole team went to hell about a month after this when we lost 13 in a row or some crap.
We don't talk about that.
Like our whole season went,
yeah, that never happened. I don't remember that.
It was like we were on top of the world, and within freaking about 2 weeks, we couldn't believe what just went on. But we were young, and we obviously rebounded and had a hell of. I wish we could have. They could have had 2 or 3 wild cards back then because I think we'd had a chance of winning the World Series.
Absolutely.
If we got in the playoffs.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, we were 20-3.
Yeah,
20-3.
We were
two games under at the All-Star break.
Yeah, one or two games under at the break and finished 20 games over.
Yeah, won like 91, 92 games, whatever it was.
Yeah, and that was, you're out of luck then because you remember Toronto and Detroit played on the last day of the year.
Yeah.
Because Toronto lost it because they didn't win a game the last week, and I think we beat them. I don't know how many.
Right.
We swept them. We swept Detroit. We were rolling. I mean, there ain't nobody was going to touch us.
Yeah.
We got in the playoffs. Everything was rolling. The pitching, the bullpen, everybody was swinging the bats. Yeah, it would have been fun.
Yeah, for us, fortunately, Paul's back. The 44 games he was gone, it was a little tough on us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Trav, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts on the day?
It's good to beat Texas. We didn't like Texas much. Talk about Gantner. I remember Gantner in Texas. Bobby Valentine was walking up and down the dugout with his hat off, popping off, and in between innings, Gantner fired an infield ball at Valentine in the dugout. So
I remember.
We didn't like Pretty Boy Bobby much in the Rangers. So that was a good time to win. But you know, it was one of those games where you just kind of thought if we just get something going. And well, you know, Bragg's getting the leadoff walk. That's big. And Gantner doing what he did, and of course Dale. I mean, Dale's shot was a Brewster's shot. I mean, that's you know, movie material. That was great stuff.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys leaving out the punch out in between all that too.
Well, you got the whirly bird on you. I think.
Did you have to face Mitch?
Yeah, the whirly bird. I think.
BJ, do you have to face Mitch?
No, I punched out right before getting there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got excited. I thought I could hit a homer right behind Rooster.
Hey, I'm going to ask you guys. I think Sack. I've run this one by Sack already, but I'm gonna ask BJ. Do you remember who started that game for us, pitcher?
I could only throw guesses out.
Okay, tell me your best guess.
Well, it wasn't Teddy, and it wasn't Avis, I'm guessing.
Correct.
Mark Chiardi? No.
No, he was Monday.
He was Monday.
Or the game we lost.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Boy. Yeah. Now I'm trying to fill in the third and fourth starter.
Yeah, we tried to do that all season. Don't you remember?
Oh, boy. Birkbeck?
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Birkbeck, yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Birkbeck. Yeah. Hey, Treb, I've got a question for you about this this season, because in my mind, it was just so frustrating. It was the wasted season of all my 20 plus years with the Brewers. This was the season that we let it get away. And I blame, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I blame the front office. And why didn't we pick up a pitcher when we were 20-3 and had our foot on everyone's throat? And we did not have a fifth starter. We were trying people like Clear and a couple other people, and we let it all go away.
Well, you know, it was a budget operation all the time. I mean, that was the bottom line. And Harry got a little hesitant on pulling some triggers too, and making some decisions. And I don't know if that was because pressure from the commissioner upstairs. You know, I don't know what was going on there. It was kind of interesting. It was everything fell into place pretty good. If we'd had one more starter and stayed a little healthier, I think
absolutely.
I think we would have avoided the big swing. But you know, when we had guys banged up out of the lineup, and we weren't quite as good a team, and all the breaks we weren't getting, and we lost some tough games. And it, you know, you can have momentum in both directions. Momentum is a bad one to have when you go the other way. But we had a good team, good guys, and played hard. Geez, it was a heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was one of the most enjoyable seasons, I think.
Absolutely,
Yeah, well,
absolutely.
For first year, it was a roller coaster, sure. Yeah, I mean, all the things we went through between that and then losing, and then Paul's hitting streak, and then playing really well after the All-Star break was, you know, that was, I think this part was great, but I think looking back, it was really satisfying to have a great 2.5 months too. And I thought it really helped. There was so many young guys on the team, first, second year guys. And that may go to your question, Johnny. I don't think anybody was expecting. He kind of waited more towards the All-Star break to make moves and waiver wire and whatnot. But it was sure an interesting year. And I think everyone thought we'd be better the following year, but I don't think we were.
Yeah, no.
Couldn't really sneak up on anybody anymore.
Well, we never did fill those voids of the pitching staff. You know, guys came into their own. Don't get me wrong. Bosio started starting and all that, but we still didn't have that, you know, 1 through 5. You know, the back end
rotation.
Never could keep a game close, and and those kind of things. So it was kind of weird in '87 how that was a great question, Johnny, because we were so behind the eight ball with our starting staff.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it was just the visionary fact. It was like, man, these guys, God bless them. I mean, they did their best, but they weren't all, you know, major league players, major league pitchers that they had thrown into that fire day in and day out.
I think the thing that really perturbed me, and you know, Trev touched on it, but the only reason a few years prior to that we even made it to the World Series was because Dalton pulled the trigger on a great trade, and we got Sutton. You know, so for him finding himself in the same situation again, hey, here's a chance to go to the World Series again. You're never going to have a team 20-3 ever again. You know, come on, pull the trigger again so we can go to postseason play. And he and Bud didn't. I mean, and it had to be nothing but financial. You know, that just blew my mind, because I think there was 2 pitchers available and we just never tried to get very hard to get them. I think Langston was one.
Yeah, you know, Johnny, too, I think what was frustrating when you look back at that time, if we could have had a guy, like, it was frustrating when you see the Blue Jays would make moves. They bring in Dave Winfield, that they would bring in Tom Candiotti, they bring in Pat Tabler. Like we had to play, our margin for error was so small.
Oh, yeah.
And I look back at, like, in '87 and even '88 and '89, if we could have had that one guy. And the one thing that the Brewers always prided themselves on then was, man, we had the best minor league system in all of baseball. I mean, when you look at the players that came out of that system from like '86 to 1990, man, it was just a vicious cycle of a lot of really turned out to be good major league players. Like, if we could have in '87, like, somebody could have walked into that clubhouse and established veteran pitcher, I think that would have been like a huge shot in the arm for all of us to say, like, holy hell, man, we've got a guy now that we can count on every 5 days to go out there and give us a chance to win. But, you know, unfortunately, we never had that opportunity. Like, I really think, like, if we would have made a move, we could have had a chance. And I look back at that time in Milwaukee, like, we had some really good teams there, like really good teams. But it was like we were stuck in a bad division because one year Baltimore was good. The next year they stunk. One year the Tigers were good. The best team, and that my time, I think BJ and Dave, were the Blue Jays. They were always, if they needed something at the trade deadline, man, they went and they pulled the trigger on whoever that guy was. And we would be like fighting so hard to stay close. And then at the trade deadline, the Blue Jays would get 2 guys and be like, damn, like, they're bringing in reinforcements, and it was hard for us to compete with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and back when we were players, you know, we were trying to survive as players. So
Right.
back when we were there, we didn't, you know, we were trying to survive every day during this streak and the whole season. So we didn't. I mean, at least I didn't think about nobody
Correct.
getting traded or getting somebody or anything like that. You know, Trev's different. Obviously, I managed and stuff. So when you're managing, you're like, man, you're going to the general manager, like, hey, give us a player, go get a player. But as a player, you're kind of like in your own little world, and you don't really worry about that stuff until after the fact. You look back and you're like, God, if we could have just had one more starting pitcher. And, you know, it's kind of like when I was coaching in Milwaukee in '08 when we got CC. You know,
Yeah.
we knew we needed something. You know, our starting staff was not good enough, but we're running out of time with Prince and Bronny and JJ and Ricky Weeks. And, you know, we're running out of time before we have to start losing these guys to free agency. Mm-hmm. And obviously Doug and Antanasio pulled the plug and got CC. Now, did anybody expect CC to go 17-1 and have a 1-5 and do what he did? No, but I mean, it was nice knowing when he came into that clubhouse, we had a much better chance of fighting for it. And then we lost Sheets and all that stuff. But the fact of the matter was, when we got CC, we knew we had a chance with our offense and everything, that we had a chance. But if we didn't get CC, that season would have been lost, and we'd have lost all those great players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny, if you remember, and I don't know how you guys were around still 92, that's kind of how it was when we let the Blue Jays get David Cohen through waivers. And he went 7 or 8-1.
The one loss was to us, right? We stole like
beat him the
8
first
games.
game.
Yeah, right? We ran
got
wild
5
that day.
hits and scored 8 runs, I think. And then he ran the table. And I don't think I've ever seen Robin so mad in my life when he heard that they let him go through waivers and they didn't block it. Because remember back then you could block the deal. And we could have claimed them, but it would have cost money they weren't willing to pay. And who ended up winning? Well, them. And then the following year they came and took Paulie from us. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
but Gillick was pretty sharp. Pat was the GM here in Baltimore. I played. He wasn't. He pulled the trigger, and he was always looking ahead. You know, again, it's sometimes when you're restrained financially, it's tougher. But Pat was good at making deals that put you over the top.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, Sack, you touched on all the good ball players between like 86 and 90, 91 that the Brewers had in their system. And I think of a couple guys were on that team, that Easter Sunday team. Pashorik was up for a little bit.
Yep.
Billy Joe Robideau, Glenn Braggs, people like that.
Yeah, I tell you, you know, I was lucky to play for a long time, but I look back and that 1987 season was probably the most fun I had playing because we had a young collection of players. Trev, the first year, the positivity, and like we just came out of nowhere. And the cool part about it was like about halfway through the year, right after the All-Star break, when we started playing well again, you could tell that teams that we were playing were like, man, you know what? These guys are onto something here. You know, being a reliever in County Stadium, your bullpens are right next to the other team. So, you know, you're conversing a little bit with guys in the bullpen. And I remember talking to Tom Hankey and Dwayne Ward and Dave Righetti, and they were just like, man, you guys are onto something here. Like, you know, like the sad part about it was like, John, you kind of touched on, I don't want to say missed opportunity, but we had some really good young players and we were like 1 or 2 pieces away from being really good. Like we were good, but I still think that 87 season, I mean, I look back at that now and man, I can't help but smile and think about, man, the fun that we had playing. And we had so many young guys, Dale and BJ, myself. That was only my second year. And we were just out there freeing it, letting it go. And like, we had a lot of fun. And you just assume in your career that it's always going to be like that. And then the longer you play, the more you realize, probably like you, John, like you get right into the World Series in 1982. And you're probably thinking, man, I'm liking this. Like this is going to be like it is forever. And, you know, fortunately for BJ, he had a chance to taste it in Baltimore and Atlanta, but
not the series though, just the playoffs.
Yeah, but I mean, I was in one, I pitched 18 seasons and is in one postseason, you know, with the Diamondbacks. And at the end, I was just like, man, that beginning in Milwaukee, 87, 88, 89, man, there were some opportunities there, you know, and when you're a young player, you're having fun and you just assume, boy, that's the way it is. And man, the longer you play, you realize like an Easter Sunday game in 1987, man, those things just don't happen. Like you have so many things, injuries, trades, guys leave via free agency. We had a good, and the best part about it is we had a good bunch of guys. Like we did. We had a lot of fun. You kept things light in the clubhouse and it just was a lot of fun, man. It was an innocent time to be a Brewer, you know?
Now Wegman was one of our starters too, wasn't he?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. And if you see all the celebrations, you know who's out.
Oh, yeah. He's always the first one there.
Yeah. Yeah.
The best shagger there's ever been in BP.
Oh, man. No kidding, right?
Question about that.
Oh, yeah. Knocking guys over to get a fly ball.
Oh, God, for sure.
Yeah. So
Well,
I
we
don't,
were so lucky. We were so lucky as all of us were one or second year players in '87. But the bottom line is, and to have Robin and Paulie and Jimmy and
Yeah.
the veterans we had on our team. I mean, that made it so much easier for us.
Yeah.
I went on to obviously coach for a long time and just sitting in the club or whatever. And you think back and you're like, man, these guys didn't have what we had. We were very lucky to have those guys as our mentors, our teammates. There was no freaking hazing and treating rookies like
Yeah.
crap and all the stuff that I was witnessing as a major league manager or coach. I was just like, man, were we really lucky to
We
have
were, right?
the veterans we had, and they treated us like gold, and it made us play better. I mean, there's no question in my mind.
Oh,
Looking
absolutely.
back, that we were better players as young players because of those guys.
Yeah. Greg Brock was on that team too.
yeah.
He was a good guy.
Mhm.
He'd
So-
comb his hair about once a week, whether it needed it or not.
And he never combed the tongue. He
That big
never
tongue
combed
that hung
the
on
tongue.
the forehead.
Well, on a selfish note, that year, I don't know if you remember this one. It was kind of a big deal for me playing the Yankees on a Saturday night. And I'm on deck and Righetti's nasty. Right. And he's, Sack,
Oh,
I come up to bat with bases drunk and 2 outs, and I'm thinking, I've never faced a lefty like this before. How in the hell am I going to get hit? And I'm thinking to myself, nah, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I took one swing, I found it off, and I finally said, fuck it. I only got one chance here, and I'm going to take it with me like Johnny told me.
Yep. And I remember that too, because I blew the game in the top of the ninth. So I'm like, damn, man. I'm feeling like just terrible, the low of lows. All of a sudden, boom, you take it with you right down the first baseline. I was like,
Oh,
weighted the world off my shoulders.
the best part about it was when Willie Randolph came over later on.
Yeah.
Willie could needle you pretty good. Wilson Pickett,
Yeah.
and showing the video, when talking to him about it, and he's like, "Oh no!" And it showed him the video. He had all the excuses in the world of why he didn't do it, why he didn't make the play. But
Oh yeah, he swore that you were out too.
yeah, oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah, he swore that you were out. And
Yeah.
Honestly, he made a hell of a play. I don't know how
He did.
even made that play, but he did.
Yeah.
And you ran well and beat it just bam bam.
And that was sheer panic.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Right before you laid that drag bunt down, and Trev, I don't know if you remember this at all because it was so out of character for you. We're sitting in the dugout, and fucking crowd's on its feet, and all of a sudden, I'm always in that one corner, close to the home plate, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, wow, this is a great time of the game. And Trev all of a sudden turns around from looking at BJ at the plate. He turns around and gives me this weird look, and he goes, "Johnny, how about I take it with you right now?" And I look at him like, are you shitting me? He's going to try and do, and sure enough, boom. Do you remember that at all, Trev?
Oh yeah, that was a genius. I put that on. Yeah, telepathic to BJ.
Genius. Absolutely genius.
But I mean, that was it's so many amazing things guys did well at the right time. It was just so, I was always grateful to have that group of guys. It was a fantastic group. It was easy. I mean, and we got Willie over. Willie Randolph was a great guy to have.
Yeah.
He
played
fit
great.
right. He fit right in. Geez, he tried to lead the league in hitting.
Yeah,
and
until his
later-
legs gave out on him.
yeah, in his later years, and what a so I mean a couple more of those guys along the way, especially in the pitching department, I'd have lasted longer and we'd have been in the races longer. But I was just so grateful every darn year to have the collection of players I had. And then the Sheffield situation later on, everybody wants to get away from that, but just an unhappy fellow, and the harder I tried, the worse it seemed to get. And I remember when we lost him, I told somebody, I said, he's liable to go over there and win the Triple Crown. And he almost did. He almost did in San Diego.
Yeah.
So, you know, if that had worked out a little bit better, who knows? But it was I was so lucky. I was lucky to be there every year. I felt just so darn lucky to have the collection of guys we put together.
Well, you know, we talk about it was a great group of guys, you know, BJ and, you know, and Sack just said, but, you know, no bullshit. You know what, Trev, you were perfect manager for that team. I felt, you know, it was just enough coaching and understanding and letting guys be silly. And, you know, I thought it was a nice mix.
Well, you know, it's always easy. I mean, it's always easy to let them play. I mean, it's like Dale. You know, I mean, Dale. I had him in the Coast League, and I hit him down in the lineup, and I hit him down in the lineup in the big leagues because I knew, man, he's gonna get some RBIs. He's gonna sit back and do some hitting down there. You know, and every guy I had like that just yeah. I mean, I was just so grateful that they were cooperative and responded well. And you know, we had some challenges. Bosio was a challenge, but what a knack for pitching. You know, just phenomenal knack for pitching.
Yeah.
And a delight. Actually, a good teammate. I mean, I know this. If I had a problem, I know Bosio. He didn't like me all the time, but I know Bosio would back me up. You know, in a tough situation. So it was always, you know, we always had a good, strong group of guys that worked hard and played and had fun. And we were just a little short, and whether it be pitching one time or maybe, you know, just a little short. And everybody did what, you know, I mean, we delayed steal, we did stuff, and they probably thought I was crazy from time to time, but they bought into it, and we had some fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, Trev, I think about it, like there are times now, like having been around so long, I think you were like way ahead of the curve as far as I remember so many times, like in spring training when we gather together, and everybody always wanted to pick your ear because you had so much to do with Ricky Henderson early on in his career. And you would have these talks about, hey, I just want him to express himself. He wanted to run, you know, let him run, teach him how to steal a base and let him be his own guy. And I think now with like today's player in today's game, you would have fit in right now, but you were looked at because that was more of that old school area, Jimmy Williams, Earl Weaver, where it was station to station, try to hit the home run, you know, act like you've done it before. And I think you allowed all of us, and that's why I think we were able to contribute early in our careers, because there was a feeling when we played there that you had this ability to kind of just go ahead and play. Just go play. Show up on time, play hard, be smart, but play. And I think, Trev, you were way ahead of the curve. Like that, what you were doing then is everything they're looking for managers to do now, like to be, you know, a player's manager, you know, to be able to communicate with the players. And you had a great knack for getting this young team, and Dale touched on it, to where we weren't afraid to go out there and play. It was like, hey, here it is, guys. Let's go have fun, go do your thing and go play. But sometimes it's easier said than done. But I thought, Trev, you did a great job of that, and you were way ahead of the curve.
Well, I appreciate that. But what's funny, what's funny is at that time when we were really going pretty good, there was this, you know, the experts in the game, you know, learn how to play the game. You can't do this, you can't do that. And I remember we were playing somebody, we kept running, and they got excited.
Sparky Anderson.
Oh, Sparky would get so mad at me. Yeah, and I just say, well, I can't sit back. We got to run. We got to push it, and we're going to run early. We're going to run late. And then against Sparky one night, I played a 5-man infield, and we played a 6-man infield just because I wanted to really piss him off, you know. But I think nowadays you can get away with a little bit more of that. Then there was the old school. This is the way you play. Who the hell do you think you are, stupid school teacher? What are you doing? You know. And I just said, well, you know, you gotta have some fun. And you gotta try to not only beat them physically, but you gotta try to mess them up a little bit mentally and get them off their game.
Trev, I don't know if you remember when you talked about when you hit me down on the lineup. I don't know if you remember in the last day. I think it was the last day. Maybe it might have been even opening day because I really wasn't sure. I was kind of even like, back then you didn't really question the manager. You didn't ever, say anything. You just did your job and went on. But I noticed in spring training I'm hitting, 5th and 6th, and I'm like, man, I just come off 25 home runs. Like, there's no way I'm hitting 9th again. Like I did the year before. I went, hey, Chuck, what's going on, man? I just hit 25 and drove in 95, and I'm hitting 9th again. And I don't know if you remember this. And you go, well, how did you do last year? And I said, well, it's pretty good. How did Paulie do leading off? How did BJ do hitting second, or Robin hitting third, and Glenn Bragg's hitting 5th, and blah blah blah. I said, well, everybody did pretty good. He goes, that's why you're hitting 9th again. And I just walked out of the room like, what am I going to say, right?
Well, yeah, hey, listen, I remember hitting you 9th in the Coast League, and not because I always wanted a guy in the 9th spot that could really do some RBI run production. In the American League, sometimes they put this fast guy down there. Okay, the fast guy, then the fast guy doesn't get on, and it doesn't matter anyway. But boy, I tell you what, when you got Molitor, Yount, Surhoff, guys, when you're hitting 9th, man, that sets you up some good situations to hit.
Yeah,
And it's an overlooked thing. Because a lot of guys, well, they always put a fast guy number 9. Well, the fast guy number 9, not only was he fast on the bases, he was fast on sitting down in the dugout making an out. So I really wanted an RBI guy in that spot. Always did, and you're one of the best ones I ever had. So Coast League or American League.
Yeah, if you guys, the one thing you guys will know this too is people have asked me what it was like to play in Milwaukee, and I tell them all the time I loved it. We didn't always have packed crowds, but man, the people who came out, and we didn't know any better. We had County Stadium. It wasn't like this. I try and explain to guys what the stadiums were like. What do you mean you didn't have a weight room? What do you mean you had one training table? What do you mean you shared a whirlpool for 30 guys?
Yeah. Oh, not all at once.
Yeah.
What do you mean the owner came down for treatment?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And then you'd hear stories about visiting guys like, hey, man, a guy on the other side, the clubby, man, he puts the fruit right on the floor by the urinal. You'd be like, really?
But the fans and the atmosphere we had, obviously Paul and Robin in the 82 series had a lot to do with that, but I always felt supported, and I enjoyed going to the ballpark there. I don't know about you guys.
I don't know if you felt this way, Dale and BJ, but man, you had no idea how easy it was to play there. Like Saturday day game, dress 10 o'clock on the field. You could set your alarm at 9, be out of your house at 9:05, and at 9:20 you were in the ballpark.
Yeah.
You play in Chicago or these other places. It's like, man, you got to leave 2 hours before. You're going to hit rush hour traffic. I mean, we had no idea. Until you leave there, you have no idea how good it was to play there. That's what I tell everybody. Like, man, it was such a convenient and easy place to play that you don't realize it till you get out of there how good it was.
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
My first stop after that was Philly. You played in Philly.
Oh, yeah.
That was the worst day I ever had in my life. To Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I was having a nice day on the golf course. My freaking wife called. Actually, that was before cell phones, and calls the golf course. Tells me to call home right away. So after 9 holes, I call, and it was like, what a freaking miserable day that was. But and ended up being a miserable year there too. But living there on Cherry Hill, the freaking traffic, it was a freaking mess.
Yep.
Yeah. Guys, we've been talking about the Easter Sunday and everything else, and I just want you to know, I tried like hell to try and get Rooster on this thing. Mm-hmm. And I just, crickets,
Yeah.
Called them, text them.
I could still see that ball that he hit going out of the ballpark. And man, when he hit him. Oh, and when that thing left the bat, I had a great view sitting in that perch in that bullpen in right center field. And when he made contact, it was like, holy hell, man. Because he didn't hit any cheapies, man. When he got him, he got him.
if it wouldn't have been windy, and correct me if I'm wrong, if it just because it got a little windy at the end of that game, if it wasn't windy, I thought that ball could have went out of the stadium.
You got to bring that up, don't you? Because you're thinking what Cecil did
I
to
didn't
me.
wanna
Huh?
start
Oh,
hell yeah, you did.
One other guy that did
I
that.
gotta watch that once a month on MLB Network, you rat bastard. Do you know? You had to bring that up, did you? Yeah, you damn fool.
Just
funny. Yeah, after that, I'd be on they would always play at Olympic Stadium in Montreal. They would do in batting practice, they would show this 2-minute video of the bomb home runs, and they would show Cecil's. And every team I played on, they were like, damn, did he hit that off you? I'm like, hell no, that wasn't me. Oh, man. Johnny, I'm telling you, just ruined my day, man. I go a month where I don't even think about it. Then it's like, oh, hell, I'm not going to sleep good tonight now. God damn.
Well, Sack, I feel for you.
I think I jumped for that ball at shortstop.
Oh, man.
All around the stadium.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, when he hit that, I'm like, holy shit. And all I remember when the inning was over, Pete Vukovich was doing our broadcasting, right? But he was getting ready to go on the road. And I came in and the whole stadium was silent. You don't know what it's like to throw one of those, BJ. Everybody's like, oh, I want to get the hell you do.
You don't know the sound when he hits it.
Oh, he hit that. And I remember that guy. I don't know who that guy was. All he had to do, John, just knock it down. Yeah, went right through his hands. And I remember Big Daddy was running around the bases. And then I was nervous. I was like, holy shit, he just hit it out of the park. Holy shit. I didn't even want to make eye contact with anybody. So I walk in after the inning's over, and Book's there got his cigarette going, right? He goes, how you doing, Lefty? I go, hi. He goes, hey, don't worry about it. It hit the red gate. I go, what? He said it hit the red gate. The red gate, yeah. The Red Gate Saloon on the south side of town.
That ain't right.
Doc, I feel for it. Every year on a certain day, I got to watch great catches made and I'm watching Kenny Lofton go over the same thing, go over the top and come every day.
Was that you?
Oh yeah, that was
it.
Me.
Was. Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah. The only place in the whole stadium where you can climb on the wall.
Oh, right. It looked like Spider-Man too, right?
Oh yeah, 3-0 count.
Oh shit!
So to that story, it's a 1-run game. If the ball goes out, we go up, and then we bring on Benitez and Myers.
Yeah.
We probably close the game out. We get up a 10 spot in the bottom of the inning.
Really?
Game over.
Oh,
so I feel for you, Sack.
Oh, to this day. Yeah, you know what? I'll be on the set of MLB and we'll have a guest in or something, or a guy talking about home runs. You ever give up one? And I'm and everybody's like, oh, did he give up one? You ever see that one Cecil Fielder hit? I'm like, God damn, man. That thing's going with me till I'm 6 feet under, man. You don't know, Johnny, how many times after that happened, I'm watching SportsCenter thinking, somebody got to hit one out of there so it won't be the only one that ever gets out of there. And when they closed that place down that night, when they shut the lights down, I thought, God, I got to take that to my grave with me. Shit, that one's all mine.
Yeah, well, it just proved how hard you threw.
Holy shit, man.
Wow.
Oh.
Hey, I just want to remind everybody, and BJ, you had texted me and alluded to it.
I had completely
How about
forgotten.
that Easter egg hunt we had before that Easter Sunday game?
Yeah.
And I can't believe that Trev allowed me to do that. But yeah, it was fun, and it certainly got your mind at ease before that game, because there was a bit of tightness among you guys, but it was fun.
Yeah, everybody found their Easter egg but BJ, right?
If you want to explain what you did, John.
Yeah, just real quick. we have Easter egg hunt in the clubhouse, hid everybody's eggs, not only me, but me and Tony, and then a few of the Bat Boys, while you guys were taking BP. So all the eggs are hidden. Okay, big deal. So BP's over. All you guys come up and, come up the long ramp. And right before you enter the clubhouse, I'm like, hey, man, hold up. Hey, man, listen up. And as I'm trying to explain, hey, we're going to have an Easter egg hunt, man. Everyone's egg is hidden. It's got your name on it or your number. So try and find your own egg. Don't find anyone else's, And as I'm explaining it, guys are screaming at me. Get the fuck out of my way and blah, blah, blah. Go back to the trainer's room where you belong and all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, man, have at it. So at first, just a couple guys are like looking around going, okay, I'll look for this stupid egg. And then maybe 6 guys and then 7 guys. Before I know it, everyone's like they're 10 years old again. And they're looking in the bathrooms, they're looking in the towel bins, so everyone's yelling out, I got my egg, I got mine, and blah, blah, blah. And by the way, Gumby ate 6 eggs that day. Okay, typical cheeser. He eats 6 eggs. So long story short, everyone finds their eggs except 3 guys. And I swear to God to this day, I did not plan it this way because I don't remember if I even put those eggs away. Anyway, Molitor, Yount, and Surhoff, no eggs. So they're kind of pissed. All right. So now, back in those days, you guys had to go out and take infield before the game. And everyone's complaining about it. And, hey, you got to do it for the fans. It's Sunday, and blah, blah, blah. And so while you guys are out there taking infield, I'm looking at the clubhouse kids. And I'm going, where did you put their eggs? So now we're looking for eggs. Anyway, we find the 3 eggs. And now I'm holding them and I'm going, okay, now what am I going to do with them? I got to do something. So when you guys come off the field from taking infield, I go back to the field. And now there's thousands of people in the stands. And here comes this goofy trainer. I run out the center field, middle of center field, right before the game. And I drop an egg, Robin's egg, right where about I'm thinking he's going to be playing. And then I run to third base and I tried to put it on the bag, but of course, you know how the bags are kind of pointed at the top. So I just put it on in play, on the border of it, so Paulie might see it. And so now I'm thinking, oh shit, BJ's catching. Okay, whatever, I'll figure it out, So now the game's about to begin. You guys take the field, and back then the umpires would come down the same walkway as you guys did. So they're standing in our dugout right before they're going to take the field. It's just this gorgeous day, bright, sunny. And I look at the home plate umpire, and it was a guy that always had the red ass. Because I knew most of the umpires, but this guy always had the red ass. It might have been McCoy, maybe?
Tim McClellan? Tim McClellan?
No, it wasn't McClellan. I actually got along with him. So I look at him and I go, hey, hey, man, I just want to ask you something. We had an Easter egg hunt. I'm trying to explain this to him, and he's just looking at me like, what are you talking? I go, we had an Easter egg up in the clubhouse. Everyone found their egg except Surhoff. So I've got Surhoff, and while I'm trying to explain it, he gives me this look, and then he goes to his hip, and he opens up the ball bag that they carry, on their hips, and he opens it up, and he smiles, and I went, oh, gotcha. And I just dropped the ball in his little ball sack, in the ball bag. Boom. They go out. The game begins. First pitch of the game by Burke Beck. Leadoff hitter fouls it straight back. So BJ, big leaguer, he doesn't get out of his squat. He just puts his hand back, like asking the umpire, just put it in my fucking hand, and I'll throw it back. The umpire looks at me in the dugout, smile, and puts the egg in his hand. BJ does a double take, looks at it and fires it in the dugout. Meanwhile, while they're taking infield, I forgot before the leadoff batter, Paul Molitor finds his egg, throws it across the field towards the dugout. And I'm thinking to myself, nobody in the crowd even sees this.
Right.
And then all of us now are looking out at center field, and Robin's out there, throwing the ball to the right fielder, and they're playing catch. And right before the game, I see Robin kind of look down and take a couple steps forward, bend over, look at the egg, hold it up, and then just spike it like he's Gronkowski. Spike it on the ground. And then to top it, about 5 minutes later, the dugout phone rings. And I answer, I go, dugout, John, it's Harry Dalton, the GM. And he goes, John? And he'd get that really serious voice. He goes, John, do you want to explain to me what's going on out there? And I went, well, and I'm thinking, I got to be honest. And I said, well, Harry, you may not believe this, but we had an Easter egg hunt before the game, and some guys, and he goes, I've heard enough. And he just hangs up.
But you didn't explain everyone why it was so important to get their egg, to try and avoid the ridicule from one John Adam, and what may have gone up on the board in the training room if you didn't.
Oh, that's true. That's true too.
Yeah.
But you guys all know I got nothing but love for you.
Yeah.
Your caption.
Yeah. To this day, too, I still thought they were giving out big screen TVs and boom boxes if you won the Cactus League. God damn, did I take that hook, line, and sinker. I go home every day and see, like, hey, did the Giants win? And I remember going to the ballpark the next day going, hey, if there's a split squad, the Giants split squad. So, like, what do we do? And because I remember if we broke spring training, you won the Cactus League, you got a big screen TV. And if you came in second, you got a boom box. And third place was a gift certificate. And I remember when spring training broke, I was like, all right, hell, I won't have to buy a TV for my apartment. We won the Cactus League. You goddamn fool.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
John, did anybody say to you, John, I don't play those stupid games?
Yeah.
Paulie?
Well, I would mess with you guys during stretching all the time. And I do a lot of, hey, can I get a show of hands who blah, blah, blah last night or whatever. And then I'd look at him and I'd say, Paulie, how about you?
Yeah.
And you know how private he always was.
Yeah.
And he's like, Johnny, that's a tad bit personal.
You got a little personal during our stretching sessions, Johnny.
Oh, did he ever?
It was a bonding session.
And that, if you guys remember, do never be late for stretching because what happened. Does everybody remember what you got from John? We get a him?
Him.
Amongst other things, BJ.
Yeah.
But I knew there was no getting around it when Paulie and Rob got one. So, like, if those two can get one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny you bring that silly stuff up because, it's probably over 10 years ago now. Speaking of names from the past, I met up with Mark Chiardi because when I was working on the PGA Tour, and he'd always, when I worked at LA Open, he'd always hit me up for tickets. And so I bring him by his house one day. He lives right near, you've been to Riviera before, Sack?
Oh,
yeah. So
that's
he lives
high
right
rent
off
area there.
and all that. So I come over, I say, hey, here's your tickets, man, blah, blah. He goes, hey, come on in, man. I got to babysit these two boys. And I'm trying to make coffee for the first time in my life. And I went, okay. So we're sipping on some coffee and And we're just making small talk, and I've got to kind of get to the golf course. And he goes, "Hey, man, I just want to tell you one thing, man." I went, "Yeah, what?" And he goes, "I just want to say thanks." He goes, "You were one of the only guys that was really good to me." And he goes, "I just want to say thank you. And another thing, you have no idea how scared I was every day during stretching." He goes, "I was just praying that you wouldn't call me out."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Crazy. But anybody else have any?
John, you have no
thoughts
idea.
On the
John,
Easter
you have
Sunday
no
game?
idea. Everybody felt that way.
Oh, did they?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Any last thoughts on this Easter Sunday game that comes to your mind, or that season?
Just seeing Dale and BJ and Trev, man, it brings back a lot of memories. Man, it was I think for all of us, Trev, me, you, BJ, Dale, an innocent time, a fun time. Like I look back at that day now, that Easter Sunday day, and every Easter Sunday I wake up, I think of Dale Swaim with his arms up in the air. And, you know, you hear guys talk about great games, but to me, that was the greatest game I was ever involved in. When I hear Dale's name pop up, man, I just see this and I'm like, God damn, man. It was the best day of my big league career. And I didn't even play in the game.
And then let's be honest, that's the most emotion Dale has ever showed on the field.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. If you got a double arms in the air, like that's like he just hit the line. Dale, you just hit the Powerball. All right.
No, it was definitely. I mean, it's the same with Zach. I mean, I didn't get to play in the playoffs or World Series ever. You know, especially I ended up going back to the minor leagues quite a bit, but it was still obviously the best day of my playing career. Obviously, had some very very fun times coaching and that, but playing wise, it was not even nothing else even was close to it. But you know, though that day. That season, that day, everything obviously fell into place for all of us. But that day was obviously, you know, we all played in County Stadium when it was opening day was 0 degrees, 10 degrees, and our stuff was freezing. And then thank God on this one particular day, it happens to be about 70 degrees on Easter Sunday.
Yep.
And one of the most beautiful days.
I don't think they've ever had an Easter Sunday with that nice of weather since then.
Yeah,
well, even a day in June. That's a good day in June.
Oh yeah.
Back there last week for Euchre's memorial thing, and I was like, some of the guys who were sitting around talking with Prince and all these guys, and it was like, you know, we had to play in this stuff. You know, they closed the dome. They had played that day. The Brewers played that day, and I was like, we had to play in that when we were there.
Yeah.
Freezing them. I was like, good Lord, how bad that was. But like BJ said earlier, we didn't know any better. We loved County Stadium, and then you know, looking back, you know, on all our careers, I think we'll always probably be Milwaukee Brewers.
Absolutely,
we all traveled other places and all that. We'll always be come home. I mean, I know me personally, I'll always be Milwaukee Brewers. I don't really keep up too much in baseball too much, but I look at the box scores and I go right to the Brewers, see how they did that day.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. That's good to hear it. That's fond memories.
Yes.
I obviously played somewhere else like you guys elsewhere, but I feel like for me personally, I grew up there.
Yeah.
And you guys will always be part of that for me, all the guys. Even when I was playing against you or playing against you, Dale, or when you were coaching, you know, we always found the time to chat. And I always had that connection with you guys. You know, I mean, Dale, you were the few guys I played in the minors with for all of a month, I think. Yeah. But you know, those times it was innocent, and again, it wasn't the best playing in my career or the most success the team had, but that ride we had, and I mean, I feel like I grew up and I learned how to play there, and I loved the fans there. I really wasn't ever looking to leave there. I was envious. I thought I'd play my own, and I wanted to play my whole career there. Things changed, and
Yeah.
You idiot, John, in Tom's words. No matter how bad we were playing, there was always a chuckle or a laugh or some
Yeah.
embarrassment to be had, or a caption on a picture that we
Yeah.
didn't have seen. The public may not have seen, but Sack and facing you every damn time we came to
Oh.
Toronto, 3 straight games.
Yeah, I know, man. And I tell you, when I left, I think the hardest thing for me, my first spring training when I signed with the Cubs, is the first time I'm coming in a spring training game, and John and Tony put that goddamn thing on me. I'm warming up. Hey, Dale, I'm warming up in a goddamn grapefruit league game, and I'm here. It's on him. What's on him? That thing. What's that thing? Capital TH. And then, hey, Dale, he says loud enough, hey, Tony, look who's pitching. I'm going to have to call Patty and tell her to hold off on starting that grow for a while. We're going to be here for a while. I was like, I want to run over and beat your ass, man.
That's funny you bring that up. You bring that up. You bring the thing up. I use it in golf, man. I play golf like 5 days a week with my buddies.
Yeah, right.
We got some money going on. We've got some pops and everything. And it gets to that 17th hole. Guy's got a little 3-footer for a big cash in. And we're like, boys, it's time. And we go,
It's on.
and goddamn it, that thing don't work 90% of the time.
There it is.
It works 90% of the time.
And I'll tell you guys one thing. I don't know if you ever went and visited Johnny in his golfing truck. And boys on the PGA Tour have no idea what hit him.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Jason Duffner, to this day, I think you ruined his career.
Oh, God.
God bless him.
Oh.
Well, guys, man, it was great catching up. And I told Jim Crimes weeks ago, I said, the beautiful thing about this podcast is going to be these guys haven't seen each other in so long.
God, it's scary.
I said, it's good. And stories will come out that maybe Treb hasn't heard, or Sack or BJ or Dale haven't heard. And it's just going to, I said, they're going to run with it for 60 minutes. And that's exactly how it's been. And I just want to say thanks, guys, for taking the time out and doing this. And Sack, I know you got to run and go to work.
Yeah, I got to go talk some shit on TV in about 3 hours.
Yeah,
But guys, thanks for everything. Jim, you
Yeah, I hope we can do it again sometime.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Dale, BJ, over and out, guys.
All right. Thanks
Take
so
care,
much,
guys.
boys.
Thank you.
Great to see
Much
you.
appreciated.
Hey, buddy.
Thank you so
See you,
much.
Trev.
Okay,
all
bye
right,
bye.
I'll send you guys a funny meme today.
You always do anyway, you goddamn fool.